Dear friends, now we are going through the handbook of presiding officers given by इलेक्शन कमीशन ऑफ इंडिया, और इस पर लाइन बाय लाइन हम रीडिंग कर रहे हैं अपनी जानकारी के लिए। तो ये हमारा आज हम पढ़ने वाले हैं ड्यूटीज़ ऑफ पोलिंग ऑफिसर इन सिंगल इलेक्शन। फर्स्ट पोलिंग ऑफिसर, द फर्स्ट पोलिंग ऑफिसर विल बी इन चार्ज ऑफ द marked copy of the electoral rolls and responsible for identification of electors. The first polling officer will be in charge of the marked copy of electoral roll and responsible for identification of electors. On entering the polling station, the elector will proceed directly to the first polling officer. इलेक्टर जो है, मतदाता जो है, सबसे पहले कहाँ जाएगा? डायरेक्ट टू द फर्स्ट पोलिंग ऑफिसर के पास जाएगा. दैट पोलिंग ऑफिसर विल सेटिस्फाई हिमसेल्फ अबाउट आइडेंटिटी ऑफ द इलेक्टर. एट एवरी इलेक्शन द कमीशन issues order regarding identification of electors. Presiding officers should go through the order carefully. The electors are required to produce EPIC or any of the other identification documents as may be specified in the commission's order. When the elector is allowed to cast vote at a polling station, a line will be drawn in red ink. When elector is allowed to cast vote at polling station, a line will be drawn red ink diagonal across the box containing the particulars pertaining to the elector in the marked copy of photo electoral roll. Further, for easy verification and calculation of number of male and female, the serial number of voters will be rounded off in case of female voter. And making a star near the voter serial number in case of third gender. In addition to this, filling of statistics format is also duty of the first polling officer. Filling of statistics format is also duty of the first polling officer. Second polling officer. Second polling officer क्या है? The second polling officer will be in charge of indelible ink. Second polling officer किसका in charge है? Indelible ink, जो ink है उसका. After the elector has been identified by the first polling officer, the second polling officer will inspect the elector's left hand index finger to see that it does not bear any sign on or trace indelible ink, and then put a mark with the indelible ink on the voter's left hand. तो वोटर के लेफ्ट हैंड पर ये मार्क कर देगा, इंडेक्स लेफ्ट हैंड के इंडेक्स फिंगर पर. द indelible ink will be applied on voter's left hand index finger as a line with the help of brush to be supplied from the top end to the nail to the bottom. ऊपर से नीचे इसको ड्रॉ करना है मार्क को, लेफ्ट फिंगर एज शोन इन द ऊपर से नीचे, मतलब इधर से नेल इधर से ऐसे करना मार्क. The second polling officer will also be in charge of the register of voters. The second polling officer जो है, second polling officer also in charge of register of voters in form 17A. ठीक है, form 17A. He will be responsible for maintaining in that register the proper account of electors whose identity has been established and who vote at the polling station. The serial number and not the name of the elector as given in the marked copy of the electoral roll should be noted in column 2 of the register of voters from form 17. He will be responsible for maintaining